Hi guys, I'm just about to go into the Brighton SEO event. It's one of the world's largest SEO events. And for this specifically, we're gonna dive into the future of search. And with the ever-changing landscape of search, we're gonna ask one critical question, which is what will the future of SEO look like in 2025 and beyond? So let's go and ask the industry experts of SEO this one question. What do you think the future of SEO will be in 2025 and beyond?
Absolutely. So SEO is not going away.
Yeah.
It is not going away. The definition of SEO is search engine optimization. It is not search engine manipulation.
Okay.
So the only thing that I see happening is we're going to continue getting more granular into the individual things that are happening. So the ways that people were utilizing and manipulating the search algorithms will go away as Google makes their algorithm updates. Along with that, Google's going to focus on hyperlocal and finding people in a specific industry and location.
Can you explain a bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the past, you would want to rank for a whole city if you're looking for local SEO. Now it's down to an individual street, or it's down to an individual suburb if you're in a larger city.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's going hyper-local, more specific.
Well, the thing about SEO is that it changes with whatever hits you. So I remember in the early days, I don't know, Yahoo was the big player, and Yahoo.com, and it's just a big directory. You just basically had to optimize your submission to Yahoo directory, and you were doing okay. And then one of their big competitors was LookSmart, and I remember LookSmart was on MSN.com, Microsoft as it was then, and they came to me and they asked me to optimize their own listing in their own directory for search engine optimization because they weren't getting seen when people were typing search engine optimization to their own directory. So I did it for them. I put the listing in, I submitted it to their own editors, and their editors rejected the listing. That's the kind of mentality that's going in there.
Wow.
At the time. And then, of course, things like Google comes along, we adapt, we change. Then YouTube comes along, we realize that that's a marketing channel and we can optimize on YouTube. And then LLMs come along, AI comes along, and you realize that you can treat LLMs as a channel to market. That the response that comes back from LLMs can mention your brand or can mention your competitor's brand. It can mention you or not mention you. So SEO has just changed. And as long as you focus on LLMs as a potential marketing channel for potentially free traffic, then SEO's got a really bright future.
We are starting to shift our approach to SEO to no longer only please the algorithm, but to go back to the basics, which is actually writing content that we like. Yeah. Because of because we're competing so much with these AI-produced content, right? So one of the things that I really believe is the shift in SEO is just companies are going to have to evolve with the different platforms, but as well, we're going to have to kind of go back to the basics in how we produce content and how we work our visibility.
Like how, for example?
Well, so in this case, a lot of the different ways we can increase our visibility will be coming from unmeasurable sources, right? So for us, it's all about working that dark funnel. The dark funnel and touch points that you cannot really track where a user is doing and how they know about you before they actually type in or search for you and land on your website. So I feel like we're going to be working a lot more at the top of the funnel that we used to on the marketing standpoint, but also we're going to be redacting and we're going to be writing content in a very different way to really help people based on their intent and their customer journey, not so much on the search intent that they have anymore.
Let me look in my big glass bowl and figure it out. But seriously, we don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, the AI overviews and people panicking about Google stealing more and more traffic from the searchers, and I feel like this trend will continue. So we'll have more zero-click searches, more optimization to be in a data set. So Perplexity or ChatGPT can pull your brands, so we'll have more of that.
I expect that how we treat our search SEO will be definitely changing, like faster than it was before. How everybody's saying that SEO is dying. This time I assume it will be changing in its purpose. Definitely there will be new behavioral pattern that is going more to GPT models. I mean, when you having certain queries that you will be solving, that long tail requests, etc. But still, search will exist, but will become more mature in certain areas. So I expect that there will be a lot of changes, a lot of experimentation. And again, there is positive, some negative things, but I expect that we will end in a good place.
So in terms of ranking factors, what do you think will stay here, and do you think there's anything that will change in terms of what we should focus on as marketers?
So if we carry on the idea that getting mentioned in LLMs is the new angle, then the challenge is to make sure that your brand is listed as often as possible in the trusted data sources that the LLMs use to program themselves. So, for example, if you are lucky enough to have a Wikipedia listing, there's a really good chance that that's open source, so any LLM can go and take that data. It'd be a great thing to have, but it doesn't have to be that. You can be in all sorts of other things. So maybe IMDb as a personality, or if you write a book, make sure you're in the right kind of data sources that people will be using, or maybe make sure you mention yourself in your own book when they scan it and read it all. So finding the data sources is key, and that's a slightly long game because the data sources have to then get crawled, they have to get filled into the LLM algorithm. But I would say that's the new tactic. It's not about ranking, it's about being there in the first place and being seen.
Ranking factors will always change, especially as new things come in. Tracking 7 million keywords gives you a huge benefit. One of those benefits is, when Google makes these algorithm updates, you can see that content at one point 2 years ago was king. In today's world, you need to have a good content and proper link building in order to rank, and that was shown in the leaks that happened just a couple of months ago. So now it's just, there always will be adjustments. Now it's just making sure that you're following the correct trends. Google will always explore, like the carousel, their Gemini, those different things. For us, it's just making sure that you are able to be found for the services that you provide and the location that you provide it, whether or not that's in the map pack, the carousel, or those things. If you're doing it correct, you'll be able to be found. And that's through proper link building, having good quality content, and getting yourself ranked.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Google over the autumn was bringing out lots of updates, trying to figure out whether they could tell what was AI and what wasn't. My impression is they've kind of given up on that. I think they've kind of figured out it might be AI, it might not be AI, and they've got AI in the search results themselves. So I think it's going to come down to like brand quality and authority and all those classic sort of links and those kind of signals.
From our perspective, as we analyze on-page ranking factors mostly at Surfer, we analyze some samples of data before the HCU, after the HCU, after March core update, and right now. And it seems that entities play still a huge role because it's one of the most correlating factors, like having the entities that are related to the topic that are used by the top 10 ranking pages, it's still extremely strong. What shift we may be observing in the next months and years is like switching from the entity itself as a keyword into entity plus its context, which you consider a fact or a bit of information. So from a keyword staffing, let's say, we'll switch towards answering specific queries like the fact plus the entity equals information. So we will share the information and close the information gap than entity gap.
I assume it will be harder to automate everything, streamline your backlink process, streamline the content creation. You're supposed to invest more intellectual capital into that. I mean, you should create an expertise. You should invest in specialists that create that content. You should invest into brand building, because all that factors that can be systemized, like amount of backlinks, search volume on your brand's queries, some behavioral patterns, with AI will be more blended. We cannot say that something will be more important or not less important. It will be dependent on a niche, on a group of factors that AI will decide, like some of algorithm will decide that they're more necessary there. And my expectation that definitely there will be reshuffling of weights, like in terms of backlinks, in terms of amount of content that you need or something like that. But hard to say at this moment, like what we need to expect. Definitely, reputation right now is one of the most crucial, and we see that older sites are more preferable, and that is a thing that is needed by language models. They need good sources of information with a trustworthy reputation. So, as an SEO, I should expect that in year or two, you should invest heavily into reputational factors, building authority, trying to avoid spamming techniques, and trying to focus more on quality techniques. That's my perspective on that. I assume that it will be definitely rewarding with the development of IEO and other technologies that are based on LLM models.
Accessibility is going to be one maybe for 2025. Stuff like making sure that things are accessible for people who might not be able to see as well, or making stuff more accessible in terms of like alt text for images, that kind of thing, for screen readers. I think lots of sites aren't currently compliant with a lot of like EU regulations on making digital content accessible for like disabled people. So I think that kind of thing will be more important in the future. EAT is, the classic framework they've already put out.
That will still be
there, I think. Yeah, and I think they'll just dial that up a bit. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to pump out a lot more content than they did previously.
What will that result in?
And that will create some problems, especially for like keywords that have less search volume and more niche areas and industries. Where Google has less data on people visiting these sites, they're going to be obviously more reliant on the content to decide what should rank. And if everybody's creating a lot more content and Google still has the same amount of like traffic information, then yeah, I can see there being some challenges for people who aren't doing more AI content for like really niche stuff, I guess.
We are facing an increase of 0 clicks results. What's your thought on that? Is it true? And how will we get around it as marketers?
True.
True, yeah.
True. We should accept that as a reality. I assume there will be a new wave in SEO when you will be optimizing the way how an engine sees you, how it interprets you. You're supposed to care, like as an SEO that is related to brand or agencies that is taking care of all marketing efforts of a product. You're supposed to care of those 0 clicks, how your brand represented in that results. So I expect there will be a huge amount of activities to building a brand for machine. I mean, trying to be mentioned in trustworthy sources, taking care of all sources of information that you publish, be more aware of what people are communicating about you in more like user-generated areas, like in Reddit or like I don't know, in social medias. So this will be like a branch, the new branch in SEO, when you will be caring what are happening in those 0-click interactions, because it will be impacting on more strategic metrics. Definitely, there will be no traffic, but you should expect the other thing, as it's a fresh idea that came to me.
Yeah.
Shifting the intent of search queries. For example, usually to more like the most commercial search queries that is closer to decision making, you take different searches. You research the topic, you research what are the alternative, and then you get like more to buying intent. Right now, as we're getting more information through one search, I expect that potential customer or user will be already prepared. Like all the basic information will be consumed on your blogs, and usually behaviors that you not expected, that customers not purchase from informational search queries. If they will be going to you, they will be converting better because they're already prepared and they skipped all that phases previously with learning the topic, researching data, just trusting your blog for the basic information and then make a final decision on a page. So it's like shifting behavior behind the search queries that you get used to be informational or educational or whatever.
I don't think it's a problem though. So I feel like we've lived in a society where traffic was the key measure to business success. And I think what we need to start looking at is not so much the quantity of traffic, but that quality of traffic. So it means kind of shifting the organizational mindset and starting tracking business goals at a lower level in the funnel. So CRO is a huge thing, right? Conversion rate, making sure that people that are actually in that top of funnel stage are converting down. So instead of bringing all these new people in.
I have got a problem with that. but not as big a problem as most people, because ultimately, if you're building a brand that's closely aligned with a set of entities, and I use entities, can I get in the film? No. As entities as sort of concepts, then the fact that the user doesn't click through to your website on that day doesn't matter, as long as the brand is associated with what the user is trying to achieve. That is the main, bigger focus. So it does mean that people will come through on brand at some point, but what you've got to do is become an authority within a very defined niche. Not niche, but a very defined marketplace. And if you do that, then it's not about the click. It's about whether somebody trusts you to buy your product in your market.
We need multiple touch points, I would say. And for e-commerce, it's a special situation right now because we got all the affiliates wiped out from the search. And it's just the right moment for e-commerces, who are real businesses, to rise and get these keywords that affiliate marketers lost. So that will be the technique that should be the most effective for e-commerce right now. And when it comes to these zero-click searches, it's all about getting multiple touch points with the brand, because even though there is this AI overview and nobody is following up with visiting the website, when they see your brand as a source, it can be one of these touch points that at some point will lead to the conversion on a different keyword, maybe in ads or somewhere else.
Anything else you would like to add?
No, it's a great conference. I love the idea of experts and individuals coming to have a collective conversation about SEO and learn about it. And SEO is not going away, even though they've been saying that for years.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
I
That was nice,
appreciate
man. Anything else you would like to add?
Anything else I'd like to add?
SEO is not dead.
SEO is not dead. And if you'd like a hat, Screaming Frog have lots of hats. Green hat SEO, that's what we're about.
Green hat SEO. Nice. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Nice
Thank
chat
you so
to you.
much.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found it as valuable as I found it. See you next time.